What's up, everybody? Are you overwhelmed by the never-ending supply of depressing bad news? Well, let's refuel our tanks with 7 recent positive stories. This is Giddy News for the week of October 15th, 2018. Chicago man makes 500th blood donation is the Giddy News headline, courtesy of Elvia Malagon of the Chicago Tribune, and a link to the source will be included in the description below. Richard Packman first donated blood after a family at his church organized a drive because their child had been diagnosed with cancer. And now 2 decades later, and after more than 1,000 hours, he has made his 500th blood donation. He sits in for nearly 2 hours because he donates platelets. The platelet donations are most commonly used for cancer patients who lose platelets if they are undergoing chemotherapy. And it takes longer than a regular blood donation, but Packman says, "I really enjoy being a platelets donor because you really know you're saving lives." And he ended with, quote, "Just remember one thing, it's better to give than to receive." Golden Retriever, who is quadruple amputee, named 2018 American Hero Dog is the Giddy News headline, courtesy of WFLA KPNX of Phoenix, and a link to the source will be included in the description below. The American Humane Society has named a 4-year-old quadruple amputee golden retriever named Chi-Chi as its 2018 American Hero Dog. Chi-Chi was abused, thrown in the trash with her legs bound, and left for dead. Thankfully, she was rescued and then made a recovery after beating out cancer. Now Chi-Chi lives as a therapy dog, connecting especially with those who have something in common with her, amputees. And Chi-Chi lives with her adoptive family in Phoenix, Arizona, moving around on 4 prosthetic legs and inspiring people with her perseverance. Young boy diagnosed with leukemia donates toys to other sick patients is the Giddy News headline, courtesy of Jenna Reyes of WWLP out of Springfield, Massachusetts, and a link to the source will be included in a description below. Team BAM delivered over 1,000 toys, games, and books recently to Bay State Children's Hospital, and the group was formed last year by 9-year-old Ben Manzi. Team BAM's mission is to organize fundraisers that will benefit local children who have cancer and also to support research on childhood leukemia. Ben's mom, Katie Otero, said that giving back is important to them because of how much they received from the community during their time in need. Ben's mom said that Ben wanted to make sure the other kids had help too, that they had rewards for going through hard times, and that they could feel better. LA County to stop collecting old juvenile detention fees, erasing nearly $90 million of families' debt is the Giddy News headline, courtesy of Nina Agrawal of the LA Times, and a link to the source will be included in the description below. Los Angeles County supervisors voted to stop collecting fees that were once charged to families of juvenile delinquents for their incarceration, and this ends a practice decried as an ineffective means of rehabilitating young people who commit crimes. Research shows that juvenile detention fees impose financial hardships and strain on low-income families and weigh disproportionately on Black and Latino youth who are overrepresented in the criminal justice system and are often sentenced to longer terms than white youth. And research also suggests that fees may actually increase recidivism. Jeffrey Selbin, director of the Policy Advocacy Clinic at UC Berkeley School of Law, stated, "The 2 main purposes of the juvenile justice system are to rehabilitate kids and to protect public safety, and it turns out these fees undermine both." Malaysian government to stop oil palm expansion and maintain the forest cover is the Giddy News headline, courtesy of Emmanuel Santa Maria Chin of the Malay Mail, and a link to the source will be included in the description below. The Malaysian government will not allow any more expansion of oil palm plantations in the country, according to Primary Industries Minister Teresa Kok, and she's quoted as saying, "We are committed to maintain at least 50% of the land as forest cover, so we won't allow any expansion of these oil palm plantations." She also said that her ministry hopes all existing palm oil traders can achieve 100% Malaysian Sustainable Palm Oil, which is MSPO, certification by December 31st of next year. And she's quoted as saying, "We have to make sure that all planters, even the small ones, are accepted and not marginalized, and they need the MSPO certification first to be accepted." Neighbors have been helping a woman who uses a wheelchair get in bed every night for 10 years is the Giddy News headline, courtesy of Lauren Lee of CNN, and a link to the source will be included in the description below. Due to her multiple sclerosis, Kathy Felt can't get out of her wheelchair under her own power to get into bed at night. So for the past 10 years, a rotating cast of 60 volunteers have showed up nightly, like clockwork, lifting her into bed and tucking her in. Felt's backyard neighbor and friend of 38 years, Keith Pugmire, stepped in to help organize. He stated, "We just got together as a neighborhood. It was determined that the best thing we could do is have a couple of men come in each night and help her. It started out with a core group of 20 to 30 people," he says. Pugmire showed them how to lift Felt into the bed and gave specific instructions about changing her wheelchair and making sure her medication and water were in reach. Pugmire eventually began using a free online management tool to coordinate his growing list of volunteers. And Felt has made a point of remembering everyone's birthday. Her wall is covered with drawings and notes from volunteers and their children. And Felt is quoted as saying, "I'm just so grateful for the friendship that I have with them. You just can't put a price on that." Zimbabwean waiter uses his wages to run a free soccer academy is the Giddy News headline, courtesy of Tariro Washinrira of News24.com, and a link to the source will be included in the description below. 24-year-old Kevin Muazzi has co-established a soccer academy in Capricorn, which is an informal settlement in the Western Cape near Muizenberg, and he did it from wages that he earns as a waiter at Kalk Bay Restaurant. Muazzi started the Harvest Soccer Academy in 2016 with an aim to get children off the streets and to nurture them to be professional players. One of the players, Yebanath Joji, is 15 years old and stated, "My parents are happy that I am off the streets and being a good example to my young brother. I now come home early, do my homework on time, don't smoke, and am obedient to my parents." Muazzi stated, "We also want to work with other communities in the Western Cape and at a national level, mentoring, coaching, and scouting for children. We also want to visit disadvantaged children and orphans who never had an opportunity to play soccer." All right, that's it. I hope you enjoyed, and if you have a positive story you'd like for me to share, please link it in the comments below. And until next time, thanks for watching.